Oh man, I fucking love.
I'm like a bird, I only fly away.
Don't put that on YouTube. That's gonna get us. They'll get us a
You're
copyright
singing it
strike.
too perfectly. You're gonna get a copyright strike. All right, you ready?
Ready?
Ready, Freddy? Okay, let me actually fucking clap just in case.
Proceeds to get up and stomp cheeks. Rolling.
Ow.
Jordan. That's how we, back in the day. I was so used to doing that, like, tape.
God, that's a nightmare.
Had to sync up all the audio tracks.
Dude, yeah, I did it one time editing the Discord before I picked up the studio, and I hated it.
Yeah. Oh God.
So
it was an editing nightmare. And sometimes like we would lose someone's audio track.
Yeah.
Actually, probably one of the best episodes we ever had was Lost. It's a Lost episode. It's the PS5. Yeah.
I would have given you so many fucking views.
Because I just scored one live,
right?
and then, yeah. Well, it was the second day.
Yeah.
I missed the first day, and then I'm like, I'm not, because my first mentality for trying to get the PS5 was like, yeah, there'll be plenty of them. I'll get
That's
one.
what I thought too.
Anytime I need to, and then it dropped. Like they're like, Walmart's selling them, or Walmart just put them on sale, and then people are like, what?
Oh, was that pre-pandy or was that in the middle of the pandemic?
This is like in the middle of the pandemic,
yeah.
And people are like, huh? Why is there like a flashing light right there? What's going on?
Oh, it's fucking. It's like it was the audio that I booted up. It was the shit.
Why is it flashing like that?
I don't know, but it repeats. It goes on a loop.
Who is putting this on a loop?
So I have to like deactivate it.
And now it's just like
And now it's just flashing.
It's like a
What's that one?
missile about to hit us.
Fucking Tinkerbell coming in through here.
We should really mess around with these sometimes.
I wish I could.
We have the technology.
It's so funny. All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. Let me clap one more time. Just want to make sure that
I'm like a bird.
Stop.
Put
Fucking asshole.
I'm like a bird, I only fly away.
I just want to run away.
So what made you think of that song?
I have no idea. Woke up this morning
Is that
and it's just a pure sweat and was like,
fucking eyes.
yeah. It's like, why is that a thing in the movies when they wake up, there's puddles of sweat?
Dude,
Their eyes are bulging.
That happened to me yesterday. That happened to me like 2 days ago. I went to sleep like a normal human being, and then I was having this dream. That's fuck. It's a stupid dream, but I was having this dream that someone was trying to fuck me, but I was like in a relationship, and someone was trying to seduce me and have sex with me while I was in a relationship. Because I am in a relationship.
It sounded like you were invaded by a succubus, Bryan.
It was a nightmare. And so like I
You wake up fighting air.
But like in the dream, I'm like just trying to like I'm doing work. I'm like editing on my computer, and somebody walks in, like a friend or somebody walks in, and they like drop like their clothes off. They just take their clothes off randomly and like stand in front of me.
What are we doing?
And I'm like, it's like whoa, what's going on here? What's happening? And then they kept doing the thing where they like walk slowly towards him. It's just like, you gotta get the fuck away from me.
And then the floor is like marshmallow.
And I don't know what happened. Like she kept trying to get closer to me in the dream. And then I was like,
you start fighting air.
You gotta get the fuck away from me. And then so like when she she finally got close enough to like at an arm's reach, she tried to reach out to me, and I was like, fuck. And I like
you just smacked
God,
please don't ruin this. Not ruin this for us.
And I fucking like smacked her hand away, and then I woke up fucking and then that was it. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
I had the opposite dream this morning where I died.
How did that happen?
Dude, terrifying dream. It was me and Adrian at a restaurant, and they have these huge windows. It's the middle of the night, and there was like this huge explosion, and I guess it was like a volcano, and we're looking like directly up at and we're just watching like these fireballs just like spew out of this thing.
Oh my God.
And we're just like, it literally, okay, so legitimately, this is like a terrifying dream, because this was so real.
Yeah.
Because it was like we were standing there in the restaurant with all these other people, and we're like, what do we do? Where do we go? We can't.
Did you dream that you were in fucking Pompeii?
Yeah, like modern day Pompeii, bro. So these fireballs are just like raining down. We're just like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then we just see one just start coming towards us, and I'm like, oh shit,
dude, that is prime nightmare scenario.
Oh, it's not even. I'm not even over. It's not even done yet. I experienced the entire death of it, dude. So we turn around in a panic. It hits, and I just see I got my back towards like the fire or whatever, the explosion, and I see the entire room like light up red, and then I feel the force just knock me through.
Oh, ooh.
And I grabbed like Adriana, and I was like, we're blasted, dude. Literally, the force sent us through the wall. And I'm just like, I love you. Like, I'm about to die. And I'm screaming, like, I love you. And dude, just like, I'm 40 feet in the air, and then we hit the ground, and I die, and I wake up, and I woke up, I was like,
that's stressful.
Dude, I had a stressful, and then I woke up, and I'm like, I'm like a bird. Maybe that's why I was thinking that.
Yeah, you got sent through the air like a bird. Dude, that's fucking crazy. The brain, you wake up with trauma that's not even yours.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, "What? How did I even come up with this? What previous life was I in Pompeii in a previous life?
Yeah, must have.
And that's what happened. But dude, that was like,
it's like that scene from Spider-Man 2 when the car comes flying through the fucking shop, and he like reaches out to Mary Jane and saves her from the car.
Right.
It's like that's what I envisioned you and Adriana look like, flying through the air. It's like just that.
I'm like a bird. Welcome back, everybody, to the Drunken Ship Podcast, episode 85.
Episode 85, baby.
Woo, got it right. Get it right. Get it tight. We're back in the studio.
Get it right. Get it tight. That's another bumper sticker right there.
Yeah.
Another t-shirt.
You never heard that? Get it right. Get it tight.
Nope.
That's like one of those early like 2002 songs.
We have two so far. Bang for your buck, double Christmas, and get it right. Get it tight.
I'm like a bird.
We gotta talk to Nelly for Todd.
I do want. We will come. I promise you, we will come out with that T-shirt.
Yeah,
because we did actually have people who are like,
yeah, people.
Can you make a shirt of that, please? Like,
shout out to you, Kim.
Did we just do like two like pistols on the like we had the like the rod and then two just two
pistols with like
desert eagles. It just like so we're gonna do like what is the thing you like hang
mistletoe?
So we get two desert eagles and we hang two mistletoes off of it as.
And then just Rudolph's big dumb red
bang for your buck, yeah. Bang for your buck, double Christmas.
It's one of my favorite things that you've ever said. So yeah, episode 85, baby. It's we've been at this for like a good minute. We were back last week, but this week we actually got a topic. Last week we just caught up. But before we get to the topic, did you know that the last couple of weeks I've been dealing with like my computer literally melting?
Yeah, so your heatsink messed up, right?
Yeah, so my water cooling on my PC stopped working. It's been like 5 or 6 years, and it just stopped working. And for like four months. Do you understand how long that is for a PC to be climbing up 100 Celsius?
So was the water? What tipped it off? Was the water just steam at this point? No. Did you like? I didn't know I had a steam powered PC. It's fascinating.
You open up Steam on the computer and it like fucking evaporates.
You like looking down like, oh, that's what that means? Okay. Oh, wow, that's crazy.
No, so I was having like performance issues.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How often did you clean out that water?
You can't. It's a closed system.
I used to have a roommate, and I swear to Christ, he cleaned out. Yeah, he cleaned out his PC. He would drain the water on that thing every other day.
But he had it on. He had a reservoir.
Yeah,
so because he custom built his shit.
Yeah.
But I don't. I have like a pre-built system.
So you can't drain that thing?
I can't drain it. It's a closed loop system, so it's only like between the pump and the dude. Pauling has got my eyes so fucked.
Oh yeah.
So it's only like between the radiator and the cooler. There's like one hose and like a predetermined amount of water there, and there's like no reservoir or anything at all. So I can't go in and like fucking drain it and then fill it up with water again.
So there's no like clean. You can't make. Well, I guess you don't have to do any maintenance on it.
Yeah, I don't have to. It's supposed to work for like X amount of time without you touching it. Turns out X amount of time is 5 or 6 years.
Pretty good, I guess.
Yeah, you do get a good lifespan out of it, and it's not like an expensive. Like the part's like $80.
But then, but when it goes out, like so you got no notification or anything.
So no notification that it goes out. There's nothing to really notify you that your heatsink isn't working on your computer because
the notification is like it just gets hot.
It gets hot.
Dude, you just start getting cooked.
My computer's right next to an AC vent. So like, but like 5 months, I've been getting performance issues. My editing software, fucking clunking up. Any game that I try to play, fucking garbage. Would not run. It was like super stuttery. Halo Infinite came out. I was having performance issues. And
I remember that, yeah.
I was like, why the fuck can I not play Halo on this computer with a 2080 Ti graphics cards?
Yeah.
And like an Intel i7 fucking processor. It's a beast of a computer. It's like, why can I not play this stupid fucking game?
It's average now, but
the TI is still like a beast for gaming. Like I can run Halo Ultra with no frame drops.
Jeez.
So like in terms of it's not a beast for like video editing. It doesn't have like a fucking fuck you.
Well, I mean, you need like if you had 100 gigs of RAM or something, you'd be like.
And so I recently put 64 gigabytes of RAM too. Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, why can I not play the stupid fucking shooty game on my computer, but I can play it on Kuzari's PC that has a fucking 1060.
So that was
normal 1060 fucking computer.
Yeah, had like a 1050 in it or something.
Yeah, and ran perfectly fine, no frame drops. It runs Elden Ring. Elden Ring just came out, and that computer was running it flawlessly. It was like at high settings, running it deliciously. And I would play Elden Ring on my PC, and it was like enemies were going invisible, shit wasn't rendering. I spent a month just trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with Elden Ring. And I like tweeted at From Software. I was like pissed at them. I was like, it's fucking ridiculous that I have to install mods to make your fucking game work on my PC.
And
it turns out I'm a piece of shit. So my computer was just like literally reaching 100 Celsius. And if you don't understand, that's like 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
Like a frying pan, you crack an egg in there, and then you cook it on the PC.
You put a drop of water in the top of my CPU, it would evaporate instantly. And so like I did the whole troubleshooting. I downloaded MSI Burner, and shout out to Frederick. So Frederick's the one that helped me figure out what was wrong with it. And I the fucking CPU temperature, dude, on startup, like when it starts. The second it starts, it climbs up to 87 degrees.
Yeah, that's a big red flag.
And I was like, oh shit. So yeah, my computer was melting from the inside out, and I just got it fixed.
Do you have anything warped from like the melting?
No, because it was all contained. My computer has really good airflow, so it was all contained to like the heatsink itself.
Do you have a big tower?
Yeah.
Oh, that probably saved you a lot.
It did.
If you had a small or mid-sized tower, it probably like
fried everything in there.
You probably would have, your graphics card went with like that. It would have been a frowny face. Like, what the hell happened here?
But I fixed that from software. I apologize. But now I'm back to streaming because I can stream without my computer dying.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of that. I'm back to streaming. My CPU was literally 150 degrees.
So what do they do?
Have months.
Just like replace your heatsink?
They just replace my cooler.
Your cooling.
Like the water cooler. It's the same model. It's just a different brand. I got it pre-built from iBuyPower.
Yeah.
So it was like whatever they had that was in there. It's like what it was.
They changed out the Aquafina to Deer Park.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
I wonder what water they do. They have to use like mineral water or something like that?
They have to use distilled water, I believe.
Okay.
Something that doesn't evaporate and like leave contaminants.
Yeah.
But the great thing about those coolers is that they come pre-packaged with the coolant inside of them.
Oh, so you
don't even have to do
install
it. You just like put it in and that's it. So I legitimately looked at my computer. So it's like, if I open you up and I try to fix you, I will not have a computer. It'll take me 16 hours to get this shit back together.
Yeah.
So I took it to the shop. I know my limits. I know when to call in the plumber.
Yeah. I don't, and then like it's not that like you save a headache and then you just save time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I've worked on my car before and I'm like, it's just changing a headlight. Yeah, and then you spent after like 3 days, you're like, should have just took it to the shop for 10 minutes.
And then like you have a choice to make because as a person, you have to decide whether you want to put the shitty headlight back on, revert all the progress that you've done and take it to a shop and sort of like take that pride to your ego, or keep doing the work for 5 more days.
Yeah.
It. And this is the only like toxically masculine trait that I have is that if I spend 2 days opening something up to fix it, I'm going to keep fucking doing it.
Oh, no, you can't just give up.
I'm going to keep doing it until I either punch a hole in my wall or fucking fix it. Like
Yeah.
whenever one of those two happens. So yeah, no, I get your pain.
That's a hard, that's an awful taste in your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
that's a hard bullet to bite. It's like when you have to like, after like months and months on end, you're like, fine, I get.
I'll fucking take it. And then you take it and the guy goes like, oh yeah, that's like a super simple problem.
And you go,
yeah.
and you're like, and then you
want to assault that man.
Yeah, you just implode on yourself. You're like, just all that anger and rage, but you have to keep, but it's your own fault. And you gotta like,
the guy gives it back to you after turning to screws and you just go like, ah, and disappear.
like that one episode.
But anyway, that was my story about my PC. Fucking nightmare. The topics for today. You want to talk about some
Yeah,
shit?
let's get angry.
Yeah, let's get angry today. So on Twitter, there's something that has been happening lately, and it's been happening over the last like
Forever,
like
since
year.
the concept of time.
I've seen it over the last year, on Twitter specifically, but I'm sure that it's happened everywhere else since like the cavemen created fire. Some other dude was just like, actually, being cold was way better. But it's something that, but it's something that I'm calling like revisionist criticism. So every time that a new Marvel movie comes out, especially if it's a sequel, there's always a bunch of people on Twitter that show up saying the previous installments were good or better than what we're currently going to get in that sequel before the sequel comes out, mind you. When everyone knows the same people were talking shit about those movies when they're released, and they piss me off really badly. I fucking hate them. I hate seeing it. And I wish every soup they had now is lukewarm every time they order soup.
Yeah, what an
Should've
oddly
just came out.
specific thing. Like that, like just a mild inconvenience where it's like,
Yeah.
damn, well, I guess it's don't eat soup anymore. It's never gonna be warm.
But for example, the Thor Love and Thunder trailer just came out. The movie got announced.
I've yet to watch it too.
Now have I. It has cool shit in it. Like I know that Natalie Portman's gonna be Thor, the female Thor.
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking sick. I'm glad that they're bringing that in. But the Thor Love and Thunder came out, and suddenly I saw. To be fair, this is one tweet, but it's the tweet that pissed me off the most. Someone tweeted a GIF or like a clip of the first Thor movie, and said, "I remember when Thor took itself seriously, and it was way better." And Tay retweeted it.
Well,
that's how
like
I saw it.
at the well, he quote tweeted it.
Yeah.
But like, in everyone's defense, that dude was just getting ate up in the quotes.
He absolutely was.
People were just dunking on him. Cause let's not forget, the first Thor and second Thor were considered the worst movies that Marvel had ever conceived.
Ever done. At that point in time, they were like the worst ones that they have done, and that's what pisses me off so badly. Let me read the.
Because of like the tweets when they refer when Thor 3 came out. People were like, "Oh, how did you?" We finally went from. I remember these tweets because they went from, "Oh, how you go from the making the worst to the best Marvel movie so far?"
Like that was the fucking reception. And so the tweet was, "I'm old enough to remember when the MCU took itself seriously and when Thor was awesome." And then it says Kenneth Branagh's Thor greater than Taika Waititi's Thor. And then Tay retweeted, "I'm old enough to remember when you all hated both Thor 1 and 2 and called them forgettable. Can we stop the obnoxious tweets whenever an MCU trailer drops? I'm begging you all." So revisionist criticism. And it happened too when No Way Home was coming out. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies are universally bad.
Yeah.
They're objectively bad.
Yeah, people hated him.
Yeah, not because of Andrew Garfield. I think Andrew Garfield's great in it, but everything else surrounding the film was horrible. Writing was bad. The special effects looked weird. Jamie Foxx looked weird as a blue man.
Yeah. Oh god, I remember that was like people were talking like people still like right before like in the last Spider-Man's like posting the Jamie Foxx and how bad you know that CGI looked on him and everything.
And it was universally looked at as a bad move and a disappointing movie. No Way Home gets announced, and suddenly everyone's fucking gushing over Andrew Garfield.
No, it wasn't after it announced. It was after that people saw Andrew Garfield in that movie.
Yeah,
they rode so high on the hype of that movie.
Yeah,
which was directed by John Waters.
John Watts.
John Watts.
Yeah.
That's what. People started petitioning for them to make Amazing Spider-Man 3.
That's true. But when they saw that Andrew Garfield, the Spider-Man No Way Home had like a weird release. because like everybody knew what was happening before you were supposed to know what was happening because it got leaked to shit.
People just kept saying that,
Yeah.
and then it just like almost like they spoke it into existence.
The movie got leaked to shit. Like the very first like week that it was announced, like we all knew that Tobey Maguire and Garfield were gonna be in it.
Yeah,
because
as soon as they showed like their villains in their movie, I mean, it just made it. We're like, well, obviously,
and also like a website had the casting information. Like they wrote an article about the movie. And
Oh my God.
They do this thing where they have like the casting information.
yeah.
And they put Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield before the embargo to put them in had listed. So we knew that it was happening. And like ever since that moment, I was just saying like, oh man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was like really good. It's an underrated Spider-Man movie. And it made me furious. I hated it so much.
Do you think people genuinely believe stuff like that?
No, and that's what infuriates me. I'm sure that there's like 10 people that like genuinely believe that the Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield,
but they get ridiculed off Twitter, and then they get. I bet they get pissed though when people start saying like, "Dude, those movies are great," and I bet they're like sitting there like, "I've been saying they're great."
Me too. I would feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
And so, but it pisses me off because I know that these fucking little like, just like assholes on Twitter that are saying like, "Oh, new MCU trailer dropped. Let me tweet about the previous movie being better. It'll give me a shit ton of clout," and then people will get angry and like retweet at me. And
what do you think that is? Do you think it's just the hype, or is you think it's just a sense of nostalgia because you're not happy with something new, that there's an older version of it, and you almost feel like you look at those movies as rose-colored glasses and just think back like, oh no, these were better. But then you go back and watch them and they're like god awful.
I think it's neither. I think it's people just wanting to be contrarian to like whatever the culture says it's
that makes
good now.
sense, yeah.
For the sake of like generating a response on social media. That's what it is.
And I've been saying this forever. Is just people obviously do this on purpose, and then it gets like people all riled up, and then it gets them just traction. Mm-hmm. It gets your tweet, because there's nothing worse than just dying into like oblivion. Yeah. Just no one interacting with you completely at all.
Yeah.
But having like at least some interaction, good or bad or positive.
Any interaction is good interaction
right.
to these people. So like even if people are bullying you into accepting that Thor 2 was a bad movie, okay? We all agree in there. Thor 1 was okay. Thor 2 was garbage. We all know that. Taika Waititi's Thor is way better than any of the other Thors. We all know that. I just want to make that very clear. So like these people are just like posting on social media just to get the clout that they feel like they deserve for like having an opinion. And then like, granted, I'm giving them attention by talking about this.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not talk about it when it's your job to talk about it.
Well, it happens every single time.
Every single time.
Something new comes out.
Happened with Sonic 06.
Yeah.
For some reason
Which is almost the most iconic one.
Yeah.
Because people are like, no, that game was like legendary bad. What are you saying? And then they like it. I don't know if they just started with one person saying that it was good, and then it just kind of got a little following after that. But it just kind of snowballed into like, no, this little weird thing where people are like, this horrible game is
they're now considered
really
good.
Yeah.
And it's not like the game got any patches. The game is on CD. It's not part of like the patch system. It's a bad game, and it remains a bad game. It's fundamentally broken. And people are just like, oh, Sonic 06 was great.
I think it's a nostalgia trip for that one, though. Because people said the exact same thing about Sonic Heroes. And I'm guilty of saying, yeah, man, I love Sonic Heroes as a kid.
See, but you love Sonic Heroes. You don't say Sonic Heroes was objectively good.
That's, maybe that's where people kind of get tripped up with like just the choice of words that they want to use.
Because I like Sonic Heroes.
Yeah.
I think
you had fun.
Fun game.
You had fun as a child, right?
But if I play it now, I'd just be like, this is fucking garbage.
Right.
I actually, Sonic Adventure is a horribly designed game.
Yeah.
It is disgustingly bad in terms of game design. Because every time that Sonic needs to go fast, they put an obstacle in front of him. And they make him go slow all of the time. Happens constantly. Oh, you finally built up. First of all, the 3D camera is awful. The moment you get any modicum of speed, you just don't know where you are. And then like Sonic's constantly crashing into shit. So even Sonic Adventure 2 is bad as a game. Sonic 06 is just not good.
It feels weird talking about Sonic and Tate's not here.
Yeah, that's true. That does feel weird.
I can hear him like watching this video right now, and he's like, he's got all the Chaos gems and he's powering. He's like,
Chaos control. So like Sonic 06, it happened with Sonic 06. It happened with the Spider-Man movies. I don't think it's gonna happen with the Doctor Strange movie because Doctor Strange is not old enough. But I don't know. I just feel like we're gonna keep seeing more of that as it goes along. Like if Moon Knight gets like a 3rd season or like a 4th season, and they change directors, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember when Moon Knight was actually good. Or like the Batman, like we're talking about Christian Bale's Batman versus Matt Reeves' Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, like their portrayal. People made fun a lot of Christian Bale's Batman in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Because his Batman was like not the best. The Joker really was the best part of that film.
Right.
And then like the Batman comes out and people are just like, oh, I like Christian Bale's Batman a lot more. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like they just don't want to agree with something new.
Yeah.
Or they just don't want to, generally they don't like it, and then they just want to default back on something old, and that was not really, which is, I don't know, you run into these weird eras where you have something old that had enough time where there was no more hype around it, and it's kind of like, and really like, that's kind of like, that's how you tell if a movie is really genuinely good. Can it stand this test of time?
Right.
It does it over, like, stand through hype. Because, like, when the movie first released, it has, like, this general buzz.
Yeah.
And then you have it come out on DVD, and then you get extras and all that stuff. But after, like, you go back and watch a movie in, like, 3 or 4 years where no one really cares. No one's going to give you any brownie points as you tweet about it or anything like that. Generally, that's, like, how do I truly feel about this movie and stuff? You really don't even get like blind reactions to stuff anymore. Like you get loaded down on so many trailers that you've seen half the movie already.
Yeah. And that's why I've like kind of like gone against trailers. Like I barely watch any trailers.
I tried not to.
I know Thor. I've seen a couple of like frames of like Thor, the new Love and
You know
Thunder.
what? I don't think I will watch that trailer now. I think I'll just go watch it blindly.
I want to, because it's like there's something that's been kind of annoying. This is like off the bar, but there's something that's been kind of annoying me. It's like we're going back to like 80s nostalgia a lot.
We've been. I mean,
holy
shit,
we've been in
there
that
for
in Stranger
years.
Things for sure.
Yeah,
but stop it.
What?
Just stop it. It's
Stop.
like the 80s thing. Just stop it. Move on.
There was actually, you know what's that's actually funny. There was a South Park episode about this the other day where Mackie, Counselor Mackie, is he's trying to start a Cold War
because of
what's that?
Is Counselor Mackie the MK guy?
Yeah, the MK guy. He is like stuck in the 80s and stuff, and he's like trying to like incite like a Cold War with like Russia.
Yeah,
because like like with like all the Ukraine stuff and everything. And I love South Park so much because they just have like this amazing social commentary about, and then that's a good point. Is like there's like, oh, he's like stuck because then like there's one part in the episode where he goes back to his room and everything, and it's just all 80s shit, and he's like hacking, and there's like references to like War Game and all the and what is it, Wolverine? What the fuck was that movie? Red Dawn.
Oh
yeah, there's like this like, and it makes sense because people but I think we've been stuck in this 80s retro thing,
Stranger Things was the great show. The worst thing that happened to modern culture because we're just stuck in the 80s. And people think it's like, oh, still making money.
Ooh, can we sidebar about it? Netflix for a second? Yeah. I've seen a lot of people have been talking about this lately. What the hell are they doing?
They're fucking up is what they're doing.
They are just what and I knew this was going to happen eventually. Yeah. Because they kept making more and more original shows.
Yeah.
Netflix was built on the backs of this, like having a huge library of just all these like, good movies and stuff. And just throughout the years, it's just kind of crumbled off where they don't really have anything good anymore. They have really just shit movies.
They have like mediocre TV shows.
Yeah, but they keep adding their own original stuff. They keep trying to just force it down your throats.
Yep.
And they're all garbage. It's more quantity than quality.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple of things that are going on with Netflix that I think are really interesting. It's the fact that their library of content just sucks now. Because a lot of other like streaming services are like taking their licenses back, and it's like, oh, we'll just put it on our own streaming service.
Do you think that's where it's like kind of hindrance off of? Because eventually they're going to become where it's just only Netflix stuff. It's only Netflix produced shows.
Well, that's what I think is the thing that's like started this trend. Netflix trying to produce more original content to replace the content that we all wanted to watch, which was like the shit that was way better. That definitely started like the death warrant for Netflix. It started typing it because as soon as there's not any movies on Netflix that I go like, oh, let me watch. Like I wanted to watch The Fugitive recently. It's like a 1990s like Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones movie. I had to, if I look up where to watch it, it doesn't show up on Netflix. 5 years ago, that movie would have been on Netflix, and I would have been able to watch it on Netflix and not have to pay Amazon $3 for it. And that's why I wanted Netflix.
I ran into the same issue the other day. I was trying to watch The Waterboy.
the fucking Adam Sandler.
Yeah, dude. Can I just say real quick?
Yeah.
What an amazing film. That is a
Really?
genuine good movie.
I have not seen it.
Really,
Yeah.
dude. It's so funny. Still, the movie is so old, and it is like knee slapping funny.
Do you know what my favorite Adam Sandler moment is of all time?
What?
When he won the award or whatever. I don't know if it was an Oscar or an award, but for Uncut Gems. And he showed up on stage and he went like, "You all forever will be now the guys who lost to motherfucking Adam Sandler."
Did he? So he actually won that?
He won an award for Uncut Gems.
I remember him saying about Uncut Gems. He said, "If Uncut Gems does not win an Oscar, I'm going to make another 10 years of bad movies." That was like so funny. I was like, Jesus.
I love that energy. But yeah, that was my favorite Adam Sandler. He was like, "Oh, motherfuckers, lost an Oscar to Adam Sandler."
He has a stand-up on Netflix,
Really?
and I started watching it the other day, and it is literally, it's so good.
That's awesome.
And they do like an interesting thing where they cut every single joke. He cuts to a different state. He's on a different stage in a different
Eddie
state.
Murphy did that. That was Eddie Murphy's. Eddie Murphy?
I don't know.
I think it was either Eddie Murphy or Chris Rock. I think they both did it. But they did that where they like shot the special in like a few states.
Yeah.
And they would intercut the set.
Yeah,
from
and
each
every
special,
high point of the joke would be, so it's just constantly shooting jokes at you. It's so good.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, Netflix is dying. Netflix is done. They're making shitty content. They're raising their prices. It's up to like $20 a month now. For
the
4K.
4K one, it's up to 20. Base model is $15 now.
Yeah, 16, something like that.
And then they just lost. And then they're started cracking down. So they had a price hike.
Yep.
And now they're cracking down on password saving,
Password
which
sharing.
is like
Which is what Netflix was built on.
Yeah, it was like just like sharing your password with like a bunch of your family members, and then they even like had another like version of that too, where like if you pay a little bit more, you can go up to like 5 or 6 houses.
Screens, yeah.
So then you could share it with even more people. They even had they had a tweet years ago saying that something about like they knew
made a joke about sharing passwords.
Yeah, they're sharing passwords.
So their stock crashed. I think the stock dropped by like 60 or 50% recently. Some shit like that. It crashed really hard. And part of that is like they did drop their service out from Russia. Like they just stopped giving Russians access to Netflix.
Yeah.
So like that could account for like a significant drop in user bases. But more than likely it's just people are just getting tired of Netflix. There's just nothing good on Netflix. I think the only thing is like there's maybe like a couple of anime that are kind of cool that I've already watched.
They've already ruined JoJo.
What do you mean they ruined JoJo?
Like Stone Ocean, they cut it up into they
didn't ruin the show. They just fucked up the release.
Yeah. So like the one nice thing. Also, can we just get off this? Well, let me clear my thoughts out here. Releasing everything at once is such a bad marketing thing for keeping the show alive.
What do you mean? I thought you'd be against them releasing it in stages.
So used to, that was the thing. People just love to binge shows.
Yeah.
And, that was nice because you could just watch every single episode in one sitting, like a glutton.
Just binge watch.
Yeah, binge watch it. And people love that for, like, because that was the whole Netflix thing. It's like they released the whole show at once. And people were like, dude, that rules. Keep doing that.
Right.
But over time,
they didn't do that.
over time, and I especially noticed this like with Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones was coming out weekly.
Yeah.
It was a lot more fun to watch a show. So I made that night, like Sunday nights when Game of Thrones was releasing.
It's like a little event.
Yeah. It was like a little event, like every single week where you're like, oh, sick. It's like Game of Thrones on. You would watch Game of Thrones, and then throughout that entire week, people would just be talking about it.
Yeah, that's true.
The next, Monday, they're talking about that episode. What's going to happen next? It ends on a cliffhanger. There's memes throughout the entire week.
Yeah,
and then you have to wait until the next Sunday. And the vitality of the show would just stay so much more.
Yeah, it would be
spread
spread out over like 12 weeks or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah,
which was great because it kind of feels like it's just a whole like zeitgeist of a thing. It's like, well, what's going to happen next? And then it's kind of like we're all watching it together.
Right.
When you release a show completely all together in one package, the show will live and die for about a week.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what happened with JoJo Part 1, that they had Stone Ocean. Literally, that's like what JoJo is known for, is just making memes.
Yeah.
Because it's that weekly episode, and then they pick one thing out of that episode, and they make fun of it for the entire week, and it's an awesome event.
Yeah. See, I don't think that ruined JoJo's, because my experience watching JoJo's was like every part had been released already, so I just like binged JoJo.
Right.
What I do think is the problem is this half-assed version of releasing weekly, where they release half the season.
Yeah.
And then they release the half.
And then it's like another
season.
3 months.
It's like either you release the whole show,
right,
or you do it weekly. I don't want to see half the show and then half the show 6 months later.
Yeah.
That's what annoys me. That's what I think ruins
Well, just doing it like that too is garbage.
Yeah.
This is a terrible way to do it.
That's what annoys me more. Like if the show releases at the same time, like all at the same time, I'm cool with that. I don't mind that. I like that. That's a good experience for me. I can just
but you never watched JoJo when it like was coming out.
No. What the one show that I've been watching as it comes out has been Demon Slayer.
Yeah, and
that's been a lot of fun. I do agree that's been a great amount of fun.
But JoJo is very special in a way. And sorry we're getting like super weeby on you guys.
Yeah, it's okay.
But JoJo is like one of those shows where it's just ridiculous.
It's insane.
Whatever happens in that week it's something just absurd and ridiculous, and people are going to make fun of it, and it's amazing.
I remember watching JoJo Part 3 and going from episode, I think it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5. And I was like, oh yeah, we're going to Egypt. And then they fly a plane, crash the plane, kill a stand user, are in the middle of the ocean, get on a giant boat, and then the boat was a stand controlled.
Yeah, the monkey. By the giant orangutan, dude.
That was top tier. I'll give you that. That was fun.
I know. I'll keep saying this. Is like JoJo is the most refreshing anime you could ever watch.
Dude, it's so fucking
so
funny.
good.
Oh my god.
But when I was watching Golden Wind as it came out, I was like,
been really fun.
The fucking dance,
was so good.
The dancing thing, dude. Literally, that was the funniest.
The torture
like
dance?
When the torture dance, because people were gassing up, but people were like excited because they knew they're like, I can't believe we were going to get to see the torture dance animated now.
So funny.
But
there was something that goes missing from that experience. But I think worse than releasing it all at once is releasing half of the season and then half of the other.
That's
season.
the ultimate worst that you could possibly do.
That is
at least
worse.
half of a season, and then only release like 12 episodes, and then you're gonna have to wait another 6 months or 3 months or whatever.
But
they're not another 12.
They're not good cliffhangers either.
No,
like if they were,
it's the middle of the season.
Yeah, it's like nothing's.
And happened. I can tell you the next part you're gonna get, it's not even gonna finish the show.
Dude, Attack on Titan has me nervous with that shit.
Holy shit! Well, can we talk? Let's talk about.
Yeah, let's talk
hell are they doing? Why has there been now? There's gonna be Attack on Titan had a last season. They did part 1, which was only 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Then they did the final season, part 2, and you're like, thank God we're gonna finish.
Be done,
this.
right?
Yeah. No.
the final season, part 3.
Yeah.
How many episodes is it gonna be?
I don't know. Another 12, I guess.
How many?
Or they're just gonna people are like, why don't you just do a movie at the end or something? No, they're not making it up. They're just dragging it out or something.
It's fucking annoying.
I just stopped reading it because I was like, I just want to watch it since it's coming out. But now I'm like, should I just finish reading it?
Sure, because you're not gonna see the end of it for another fucking 2 years.
And I don't know if that's just animating, just the level, and then just because Mappa, there's the studio that's animating Attack on Titan. They have so much on their plate.
Yeah. They got they did the Jujutsu Kaisen movie.
They're doing Jujutsu Kaisen, Bleach.
They're doing Bleach.
Chainsaw Man.
Oh yeah, they're doing. Chainsaw
they're
Man.
doing some Death Valley or something like that. It's another huge anime coming up.
They're working on like the 10 biggest anime releases.
It almost makes sense that like, oh, that's obviously probably why they're stretched so thin, and then the level of like quality that they release is like.
Dude, this anime.
I mean, it's fucking movie level. I mean, it's insane. So
I understand. I understand that. I think that the push to release like that, like just half the season, pull it out.
Yeah,
is because they don't want the hype to die around the anime. Because animes.
Then typically, if they don't want the hype to die, you have to do a weekly.
You have to do a weekly
format.
Release. I think Demon Slayer does it incredibly well. Demon Slayer has like 8 episodes a season now. because the manga is so relatively short in comparison to most shonen. So like you only really get like 8-9 episodes a season. They release it weekly on Crunchyroll as it releases in Japan, and like everyone's talking about Demon Slayer for like 10 weeks.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's such a better marketing strategy, rather because like Stone Ocean, like it sucked because like only people talked about it for like 2 weeks, and then
I do love Stone Ocean. Like it's really good.
It's good, and then but just the way they fumbled it. They fumbled it so fucking hard.
And that's a problem with like social media. I think everybody's got such a short attention span, and there's so much content coming out.
Well, that's also a nice thing about social media too is just when they're doing a weekly thing, it's so nice to hop onto like Twitter and just see people talking about it. Yeah,
but that's exactly it. Like it's way easier to consume an episode a week, right, and then talk about that episode than to consume an entire season a week or entire half a season a week, and then talk about the entire season on social media. So like when you put out like the half the season, people have to like rushedly have that conversation on social media before the next thing comes out the next weekend, and they're talking about that now.
Yeah.
So like the short attention span of social media for like how conversations last or longevity
makes sense.
Is super short, and it's what's kind of forcing these companies to do this.
We're like a bunch of ducks. Yeah. If you give us the whole loaf of bread, we're gonna eat it in a second. Yeah. But you give us throw a little bread bits. Yeah, we're gonna have some now. Yeah. And then you give us another one, and now we've been at the park for an hour rather than 30 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with that.
But yeah, so Netflix, just while we even bring this up, is they had 200,000 subscribers during the January through March period, just drop off.
Yeah,
they just out the window. Yeah,
I totally agree. I think it's a stupid move. I think Netflix is being dumb, and they're gonna see the loss of it. Especially if they do like a password.
It was kind of like, in a sense, it was kind of like Netflix reigned supreme when they were the only one out there. Yeah. But now there's so many that they really they just don't have the content to back up because they're not a movie studio.
And they want to be.
Yeah, they want to be, but they don't have that backing of years of film and all this shit. Yeah. They don't have a large library, and that's why they push so hard for these original shows. Mm-hmm. And I guess they're trying to, and I would assume the rate of what they're trying to put out and how much money they just been gassed out is just because they're just trying to fill it up so quickly because it's moving so fast in such a short period of time.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem with that's a conversation for like a whole nother episode.
Yeah, I know we're really tangenting off here.
So we're gonna really back in, and I'm going to say we'll save that for another episode because that's a really good conversation. We're going to really back in and say, if you're one of the people that engage in revisionist criticism and then suddenly you like the old thing so much more because the new thing is coming out, stop it, get some help, stop being a contrarian, and enjoy the content that you want to enjoy, but don't fucking make it our problem, okay? Don't fucking make it our problem. That's the PSA for today.
Everything just boils back down to people just want attention, and people sound a lot louder on the internet than what they actually are. Because one person can make just a dumbass statement, but it gets so many people riled up that
because it's such an annoying and inherently wrong statement. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with this?
I was like listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about how there was a Facebook group page. It was a company they were planted onto Facebook. Mm-hmm. They ran the top, all these huge pages, like the top Christian page, the top black. So, they had the number one Christian page, and then they had something about like black moms or something like that. Their whole purpose, they were paid to just rile people up to keep the tension going.
Yeah, because negative emotion works on social media.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that works.
So just every time you see someone just put a dumbass tweet out, just
scroll past it.
Just pause and just think is this genuine? Do you know this person? Or is this person just trying to push my buttons and trying to get me to respond? Yeah. Because I can tell you right now, if you want to piss somebody off, just don't give them zero attention. Yeah. And God, that will make them rethink everything. Because when you don't have any backing on anything and no one's interacting with you, it just makes you immediately give up. Because what's the point?
Don't do what I do and just be like, what the fuck? And then tweet.
That's what, because it makes me frustrated seeing people just respond to stuff like this. Because I know you and Tay will fire off and I'm like, You're giving them what they want. Stop.
But it's sometimes it's fun.
I know, but I mean, I get the same way. Like, if I see someone just not, that's the one thing's frustrating too, is when you see someone getting backed up. That's when I get pissed. I was like, stop backing them up. It's a dumb.
Stop fucking giving them clout.
Don't give them like a stop.
Don't validate them.
That's a good point. Do not give them the
them.
validation that we're trying to ask for.
Okay, so that being said, we're gonna linger about that.
Yeah, let's talk about something.
So I don't know if you know this, but the Meta.
This is Facebook, right?
This is the Oculus, the device that's owned by Facebook. Yeah.
So this was the Oculus Quest, which has now been renamed as the Meta Quest.
I don't fucking know.
This is how you wrote it.
The event is called Meta Quest Gaming Showcase.
How do you say it?
Meta. I fucked it up. I said Meta.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a different thing or not.
So it's Meta Quest Gaming Showcase 2022. So it's like a little mini gaming event to announce like a VR projects that are coming on Quest essentially. And it's the second annual. So they've done it a year prior, and this is the second one. And this is exactly that. It's exciting experiences headed to the Meta Quest platform. So they announced, and we're going to go quickly through the list because I don't really give a shit about anything in this list. But
which
this
is inherently the problem.
Which is exactly the thing. So they announced a Ghostbusters VR event. They announced a Resident Evil 4 The Mercenaries. You remember that mode? It's like an arcade mode where you just killed zombies.
Oh, they had that in Village too.
Yeah, they did. So they put a version of that for VR because Resident Evil 4 came out for Quest not too long ago. So they put that out. That seems pretty fun. They have a Walking Dead fucking VR game.
Yeah, just any like handrail shooters.
There's an NFL VR game.
I didn't see the video for it, but I was like, how's that gonna work?
I'm gonna ignore that. There's an Among Us fucking VR game.
Makes sense.
Dude, it's a 2D Flash game. Why are we getting a VR game?
Did we made a funny joke about this. We made a joke about that, yeah. Like you just point at somebody like
the one of the games that like kicked off the VR space, Moss is getting a sequel. That's actually pretty cute. That's a pretty cute game. I can fuck with that. And then Bone Labs, which is I think the continuation of Boneworks. So you remember Boneworks?
I do not know Boneworks.
So Boneworks was made by do you remember the YouTube channel Node?
No.
The one that Freddie Wong was originally a part of. They used to do all the special effects.
Yeah, vaguely.
So one of the guys, Brandon from there, founding his own gaming studio, and he made a game called Boneworks. And it's a VR, pretty much a VR like tech experience where the haptic feedback from the Valve Index and everything works super well in translating physical movement. And it's got like a whole bunch of like physics developed in it. It was kind of like the next big step in interactivity in VR.
It was kind of like the Unreal Engine of like it's a tech demo game.
Pretty much. It's like the game has a story, but like the real impressive thing about the game is what they were able to code into for interacting with the VR world. Yeah. So I believe that they're releasing another one called Bone Labs, which is like a fantasy setting, and then you like have to like escape certain dungeons. But it works on that foundation for Boneworks. So it's like another advancement into like what we can do with VR technology and like haptic devices and shit.
Pushing
like that.
It, yeah.
Which is those are the kind of games that we really do need in this space because other games had set the foundation for something like Half-Life Alyx to come out. Fucking Dream Cities VR. Yeah.
What is that? Like just I'm gonna take a building, I'm gonna place it down.
I guess. And then
I mean they're working with I guess what they can with VR for right now.
And that's pretty much it. There's like 3 other games that I don't give a shit about. But the fact that that's happening in the VR space is kind of like what would make you want to buy a VR headset? Because I don't give a shit about any of this.
Dude, I can tell you what we've been saying for years now. Just give me a Yu-Gi-Oh! Give me a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. That's it. That's all you have to do is just give me a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, and I'm going to
drop even like $100.
Yeah, or headset. Like give me a like MTG like VR experience or something, something like that, where it makes sense to have it in VR.
Yeah, something cool like that. That would be the same thing to me. But like the VR headspace, the VR game space is in a weird spot because it's like they're still experimental. Yeah. And there's still a whole lot of indie games happening, but we're not getting full experientions for
I think
VR.
What you have to do is you have to make a consumer cheap product.
I agree.
Like, well, and the PlayStation's been really radio silent on their VR thing for right now.
I did like their
and
VR
hopefully the PSVR too, like, you know, that will be better, like a really good experience for people.
I hated their controllers. I hope they fix that.
I think they did get new controllers.
Yeah, I hope so.
I want to say they did. But that is coming out. Hopefully in the next PlayStation installment for the, you know, the weekly
PS5
show. Yeah, they'll show a little bit more of that and maybe give us a release date for that, because they've only showed us that, but they haven't said anything. They've been pretty silent about on so far.
So like, would you buy something like the Valve Index?
I think
what would make you buy?
That is such a big investment.
It's like $1,000. Yeah.
For nothing really, no games to really push it.
Right.
You know, truly, and I hate kind of to say this, but they need some major title to have a VR mode.
And a VR exclusive too. Like Half-Life Alyx is a good example of that. But I think that we need like a AAA title.
But that's a massive investment to do. That's not like consumer. You need
it's
like
consumer friendly for sure.
Right.
It's like early adoptionist.
So like what needs to happen is, I don't know, I'm so surprised Microsoft hasn't dipped their toes into like trying to do some type of VR thing. What they need to do is like Xbox needs to make a VR, and then PlayStation needs to make a VR. Well, PSVR too. Release those, and then go and then just have every, you know, new game coming out have a VR edition where it's cross, you know, play with other players.
See, but that's the thing. I don't want, like, I think that the problem is that they're trying to make normal games and then make a VR version of those games.
And that's where it needs to stop.
That they need to just make VR games. They need to just invest in VR games.
I don't know if they could just
design games for that.
Yeah, I don't know if they could do just VR games, because that's a hard like transition.
Well, I don't mean to like just exclusively switch to making VR games.
Well, here's an issue that I thought I was pretty sure that they were going to do it, but they didn't with the PS5 and then the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
If those games would have on the base model would have launched with VR, I think we'd be in a totally different space at this point.
I totally agree.
I think if you just got them in the homes because people were regardless going to buy those consoles, you just tacked on it, made it $100 more expensive.
Yeah.
You don't give people
even if you take a loss.
Yeah.
Like the amount of support that you would have gotten for those VR
because now everybody has one.
Yeah.
Because now you pretty much have to go out of your way to buy one.
That's what Kaiba did with the dual disc. He just fucking threw them out.
Yeah, you're like, if you want to do this tournament, you have to buy one of these.
Yeah.
But like you have to put them in the home first.
Yeah.
So developers know that like they have it.
Yeah, so they have the ability that they can make money off of that platform.
Right. No one's going out of their way. It's no like enthusiast now. And now it's a consumer general base. You have to have that.
Yeah.
Next, I think you would have to do like a Call of Duty.
You have to have a.
You would have to have a Call of Duty game. The next installment of Call of Duty, just be VR or. Not just do like a VR game, but just have VR integrated into like normal Call of Duty. Something like that. Something on a scale where it's a massive game, or like God of War or something where it's VR just through. It's not a VR like spin or anything like that. It's just a game that just runs with VR too.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know how they would
that would work well with shooters, because you can make like a base version of the game.
Yeah.
And then just translate control into VR, and then like have like a player base that's playing on VR and a player base that's playing on console, and then sort of divide them up like that, the same way that you do pretty much any other shooter mode. Like PC does it really well. There's a couple of great VR shooters on PC that do that, but
nothing like groundbreaking. Nothing like I've never heard of. Like there's no Battlefield, there's no Call of Duty.
They are pretty niche. Yeah, they're pretty niche shooters. But I think the problem is that there's just no VR headsets in homes because they're a little too expensive still, and there's not a game to justify making that investment. Like if Battlefield 2042 came out for VR, for example, and like was actually good, I feel like you would have seen a great push for people buying VR headsets, because that's such a unique experience.
You're gonna have to have so like Half-Life Alyx was a great example for pushing a big title game.
Yeah. But
the issue is like that is
dependent on like
expensive.
$1,000 piece of hardware.
Yeah, which is not friendly at all.
But if that happened for like PSVR, which is like relatively cheap in comparison, it's like $400 versus like $500.
Yeah.
Versus like $1,000. People are more willing to put up with
it's
that
accessible.
Price. It's more accessible. Yeah. I do think that, like, I know that we've had this conversation a lot, but I do think that the key to, like, I don't want a VR yet. Like, I think about getting a VR. I can afford a VR.
Well, I think I want to do it. So I'm going to So I was waiting for the PSVR 2.
Yeah.
That's going to be like my first. I've never even tried VR.
Dude, VR is pretty sick.
But-
I had the PSVR, played Resident Evil 7 in it.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
terrifying.
and that's what I want. I want to dip my toes into PSVR, and I'm praying that they're going to put support in it. But I feel like right now it's just we're still in this weird space where it's like they don't feel like they can make any money off of this.
Yeah,
so
it's like
they're not
everything is experimental, but they're not really experimenting. They're just releasing like the same 40-minute games over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every VR game looks identical to each other because they don't really know how to pioneer something new for it yet.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know either, but fuck. That's what's stopping me from getting a VR. Like, first, I don't want to support Meta. So I'm not going to buy a Quest, but maybe I could buy an Oculus, or like I could make the really big investment and buy a Valve Index VR. But there's nothing in the market except Half-Life Alyx that really makes me want to buy a VR headset.
And it's not pushing you to spend $1,000 just on a VR set.
Yeah.
That's you. And on top of that, you have to have a gaming PC just to run the VR as well.
Right. So like if you're starting from scratch, it's like a $3,000 investment to get VR. For me, it would be like $1,000. Like, I can afford that. I can get it if I wanted to. But am I going to do that for like 3 games that are really fun?
Right.
No.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know. I see all those lists of like VR gaming, and I'm glad that the space is moving, but I think that we're moving in the wrong direction.
Well, and I think it see, I don't blame them for looking like this right now.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that's been they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
It's just too new, which is the thing that sucks, but they needed the backing for it. That's the problem. It's like they need it sucks because it's like you need the support, but you don't have the support to make, that title. So someone has to give, where someone's going to have to be like...
They have to do it at a loss at first.
Yeah.
Like the first year that they operate.
That was like, I think the original 360 or the Xbox or something, they sold it at a loss.
Yeah.
Just to get it into homes.
Because once you get into the homes, you establish support, and people are like, it's easier to drop $60 on a VR game when you don't have to buy $500 worth of hardware before buying that $60
Right, yeah.
game.
It's like you're not making a massive investment. It's consumer friendly.
Yeah, like if like you said it best, if PlayStation had released with the PSVR 2 in a bundle, and they sold the PSVR headset at a loss,
not even like a bundle. It comes standard.
Yeah, it comes with it.
And I don't know why they have not done that yet.
And you can, like Unjustified, you can sell it like $100 more expensive, $200 more expensive, but it comes packaged with it. Even if you're selling that VR headset at a loss, the amount of money now that everybody has that piece of hardware in their house that you can make is great. It's fantastic. Because it's not like the Kinect, because the Kinect was garbage.
Yeah.
But if the product is good and you just put it in people's houses, they will use it.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to use it. And then at that point, though, you just have to support it.
Yeah.
You have to kind of just keep pushing. People just have to kind of like, it's either one thing. It's either people are going to have to adopt the VR, or people are going to have to really push and wait for the technology to come out for it to be amazing. I think, and it's weird to say that I think VR is the future, because that's such a weird statement at this point, where it's because it's not really putting out anything impressive. But that is the next step.
It's the next step. It's the next logical step.
Yeah.
But it feels really far away from me for some reason.
Yeah, we're still in like alpha.
Yeah.
For it, and we're nowhere near.
And
even
we have
beta.
to get like all we really need is someone like Sony or Xbox, and like Valve has taken like a great initiative in it. But Valve is like a premium of VR.
They can take, they can. They're like, well, we already have like the best,
and they have the platform.
That's like one thing.
They have the platform to release the games. They have the platform to publish the games. They have the platform to develop the games.
Yeah.
So like Valve is doing a really good job, but their experience is really high end and premium.
Yeah.
But if Sony were like, we're going to sell VR headsets and VR experiences at a 50% loss for the first year.
Yeah.
And then get that shit into people's houses, and then maybe then I would buy a VR.
See, like with that, but with their versions of it, it's not going to be like the premium version. So you're not getting it. You're not getting that Call of Duty experience. You're getting like the VR, what we have right now experience, which is inherently the problem, is because like you could give people the VR, like you could have it in the base model, but if you don't have the games to kind of like
to support it,
to support it and back it up, I mean, people are just not going to use it.
That was a problem with the PSVR 1. I had the PSVR 1.
Yeah.
But there wasn't
and really games. That was just a testing ground.
Yeah.
That was just kind of like, okay, we're gonna put our toes into it.
It sucks being an early adopter sometimes because like you really want the technology to succeed, but
You kind of have to take a loss. You have to.
you know
invest
that you're
into it.
throwing your money away until the technology gets way better. That's it's kind of my thought. I just think that VR is interesting, but I think we're stuck in this weird limbo of like experimental gameplay where people are still figuring out how to develop.
And
for
I feel like and that's the thing that sucks too, is because we've had it for a good while now, and I feel like we should have seen something. I guess with Alex.
Alex is the only game that I can think of that was developed exclusively for VR, developed with VR sensitivities in mind. And well, Alex and Boneworks, but Boneworks is a playground for VR.
Right.
It's not.
It's
really
not
like
gonna.
It's a full-fledged game, but it's not like an experience.
No one is going out of their way to play Boneworks.
Yeah, and like the people that are VR enthusiasts. That's who they're making the game for. But Half-Life Alex is like the closest thing that we have to that.
I mean, plainly speaking, what needs to happen is just Half-Life Alex like a Half-Life Alex game
on PS4,
on PS5 or in Xbox One.
Yeah, that's
or
really
Xbox X.
And that, I feel like that'll push people to a little more. But like so far, I was like, I just don't care. I just don't care about any other games.
It's just not. It's just now a waiting game.
Yeah.
So hopefully, when 4 years goes by or whatever, and they develop the
35.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, hopefully, that will be accessible.
Yeah. So, but if you're a VR enthusiast, there's probably something for you to be excited about in that list of games. But yeah, I think that's it for today's episode.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for watching. This was episode 85 of the Drunken Ship Podcast. You can follow us on Discord. Join the Discord, link in the description below. You can find me on Twitter at BryanRchilla, and you can find Crockett at
CyberCalamity. I'm sorry, I'm watching the trailer.
For what?
Oh shit! There's the Call of Duty trailer for the Godzilla and Kong.
Did it finally drop?
I just now I'll have to watch this later. Yeah, guys, you can follow me at cyber_calamity on Twitter and find me at cybercalamity on Twitch. I'll see you guys next week.
See you. Bye.